Moon Meander saying that it is perhaps going to be a little bit more even draft-wise. Maybe that's just an opportunity for Tundra to prove that there is a skill diff and not just that draft diff. I thought it was also funny he talked about how, he seems to be one step ahead. He says, maybe you should have picked up the Dacha last game, but now that you do pick up the Dacha, I know that's what you should have done, and I'm ready to go for yet another counter to that one. And it's the last pick, 33 Darks here. Lanes seem to be very important here, Avery.
Absolutely. For BetBoom, they just need a stronger start in general because that game was lethargic, for lack of a better word. So morale-wise, they just need to get out to a faster start. And draft-wise, this Enigma lane needs to pop off. When you later pick this hero in the draft, you want him to own the lane. You want the Eidolons to take over the map. You're looking for summons control. It's going to take some towers, control the early fights, get some auras up that drum build into, we've seen Crimson, we've seen Pipe, we've seen some early Octarines. You can do a lot on this hero with the Eidolons if you get him cooking. But the laning phase is the key to unlock all of that, because if you're behind, it's just so hard to run in and have that teamfight impact. On the flip side, you got to shut down this Darkseer. You cannot give 33 a blazing start on this hero, because as Moon Meander mentioned, they view this Darkseer as a key to combating the scale that BetBoom have with this Medusa. If this game goes ultra late to get the turtle, the Medusa just gets to farm up ancients and get super big. It can be a big problem for the Shadow Fiend to outcarry that hero. Darkseer helps a lot with that. So if you give the scaling power a fast start as well, then you're probably going to be in some big trouble.
Sure. The Enigma will be watching that lane pretty closely, and I want to talk about the partner there in Save's Dark Willow. We've stated that for the BetBoom squad of old, that guy needed to be enabled. He needed to be enabled because he was very often times one of the only playmakers that team had, and we were talking about how him on Coddle is maybe not the best. He's a great playmaker. Why limit him in that regard? Do you feel like the Dark Willow is a better spot for him?
Oh, yeah. It's a stronger hero in the meta, can do a lot more, can take over fights and games.
Arrow double raise, but it got him inside the cogs, and that will pull him into range to get a point-blank raise as well. How did that end up going so well? He got pulled in by the cogs, and then he got pushed back by the cogs into range of that close raise.
Just Whitemon things, man. This guy finds the openings, and that is a pivotal first blood. I mean, Tundra are super happy with that. And you got to remember, this was my one lane that I wanted to go well for BetBoom.
Yeah.
This Enigma, I don't know if that's a kill that should have happened when you have these Eidolons that can combat. There's no super early Eidolon killing here. Yeah, you can throw some raises out, but it's not that effective. And you're racing towards that level 3. The level 2 Eidolons is when you really start to pick up the steam here. It's going to set you back. A lot of extra gold for the SF. Now, if he has to abandon the lane, he can go jungle way better here. That's just a beautiful start on that safe lane for Tundra as they strike first.
Lorinoff also seems to be in a good start in the Ember versus Storm Spirit matchup. Had more harassment on the Storm, and he managed so far to be up in CS. Nice double cog hit there from Whitemon on to save. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Blood Grenade is going to slow down Kataomi. He's going to be good. He gets out. First blood is already claimed anyway, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal if a support dies somewhere.
That mana burn on save is not insignificant. Does not have a lot of extra mana regen. Going to limit some of the kill potential. BetBoom do get the lane back, and Save's done a decent job controlling those pulls. So the Enigma is going to start to pull ahead here a little bit, get into that level 3 to 5 territory where he's really strong and you can just deny everything. As you said, mid lane super even. Solid start for Lorinoff. I think if you can do well in these early waves in this Ember Storm, that's primarily what you're looking for. You just want as many levels as you can get. As the Lotus contests, see what Kataomi can do. Doesn't have the snowball.
Got Soxa inside. Of course, he has the calling place, which is to slow down this damage. Doesn't manage to get the Lotus for himself. That gives him enough regen and confidence to be able to turn around and try and kill Kataomi, who's making his way through the trees. Nice use of a tree plant there to block off some of that territory. Still pulled back into the vacuum, and the final hit comes in from Soxa.
This is a strong lane. You get dead shot back into the Ion Shell damage. You always have vacuum to bail it up as well. You can vacuum people back into the Calling Ghost. It's not a weak lane for a ranged hero with the Darkseer at all. Man.
Yeah, not your typical Ion Shell lane, but it's a vacuum lane.
I think 33 is going to try and do some creep pulling and extra camp farming as well. Strong start for the Darkseer. Both these side lanes, Tundra getting what they want.
It's raining cogs out here. Bramble not going to latch. on either hero.
Whitemon's still looking for these pulls. That's the one part of this lane that's gone well for save. The connections haven't been there, though. And 33 is going to take a water rune. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Double water rune for Tundra here, denying that out from the storm.
What was that? Like, was that him making that move because Saxa wasn't in place to be able to take the water rune, and
he was just in the area
call that you needed to for Kiyotaka?
He was waiting for his courier to bring more resources, and he had pulled a wave to a neutral camp, so he was kind of close by. Saxa getting low, Fairy Fire.
Almost got him, pulled it back away a little bit. Saxa also had a little bit of stick charges, but here comes the snake to finish him off. That's the kill. 33, though. Now is an opportunity to run down Kataomi. He has a snowball.
Another
up,
tree
should
plant.
Be fine. Nice tree plants. He's throwing branches down everywhere.
This guy's just doing a little green work down here, keeping himself safe. As the aggression up
Going
top.
to try and catch up to him, but a little bit of body blocking from the Eidolons will work out.
I really thought this lane would be going a bit better for BetBoom over the long haul. You gave up the first blood, and I mean, that sucks. Still, this Enigma should be strong in this lane and be able to bully with the Eidolons.
This is the combination we're talking about in the lane. The Muerta plus one of these spirits, almost a death sentence, but a snowball pickup. Kataomi, he bails him out long enough that they get the kill on the Ember Spirit, though Kiyotaka, while he did manage to get the last hit, he does not survive.
He goes down first, so no XP for that Storm. That's the big difference there.
Yeah, he's still not level 6.
Man, raises into the Eidolons. Nightfall happy to collect that. He's getting a decent amount out of this lane.
He has. He's gotten, I mean, they got a kill early on. They've been getting a few Eidolons here or there.
And save has to go to base on a Dark Willow just because of the cog mana burn Whitemond's been able to expend.
Yeah.
Significant pressure here. Both these mids getting to their level 6. Kiyotaka hits his first. They want to
snowball coming in, but the Slight does manage to dodge the stun. Meanwhile, the Calling is trying to run interference, but the Storm Spirit is able to zip in and finish off the Ember, and he's out of mana, and Whitemon is going to try and punish him for that one. They'll get both the kills, perhaps. No, Kiyotaka had just enough mana to be able to jump down into the river, and it looks like he's healing up bottle-wise. Got a refill on that bottle, too, so he's not even going to be that low on resources. They're going to try and pick up the Power Rune. Doesn't get it, but maybe they could get the kill on Saxa instead, who had a lot of resources, hits that magic wand, but the dead shot pushed away Kiyotaka is not enough. Kiyotaka getting a killing spree. Level 6, soon to be level 7. This is the kind of start you wanted to see for your mid laner if you're BetBoom.
Their mid-skirmishing so much better this game, and super nice bottle efficiency from Kiyotaka. He went through 6 charges in that fight.
He continues to hunt for more kills. Nightfall, though, he's dying to the Eidolons. Almost dies flat out to just these Eidolons.
That's the kind of pressure I was expecting.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore these things. Zidal secure Wisdom Rune here. Way better start in this game for BetBoom. They are getting to play Dota this time around, holding the net worth lead. The Storm is starting to snowball. Got some extra stacks on top of it, and now you can start to exert some pressure on the map. With these Eidolons going into the tower, the SF doesn't want to sit here anymore. How many heroes do you bring top if you're Tundra? Do you want to skirmish with this Ember and try and defend your towers? Do you want to look for trades with the Darkseer pushing in the map?
Giving away a bunch of regen, these two supports helping out Miro so he can push forward and start hitting this tower. Tundra does know about all this. They had a really nice defensive ward there. So they've seen all these heroes, and they've also seen the supports moving away. Miro is a little bit isolated, and Whitemon pops out, catches him inside of the cogs, hits him with another one, and he's gone. Lornoff. He comes in to help out, defend this tower, helps get the kill on the Enigma, though they cannot chase down the other BetBoom supports.
What a nice angle from Whitemon. He went all the way around.
He came in early, hoping to be able to get the Power Rune. It's not there. It's top, and the supports are already guarding it. They're going to make sure that Storm gets a regen rune.
Super nice here for Kiyotaka. Can continue his reign of terror as he's looking for that Orchid buildup as well. So racing towards that item that can shut down the Ember in this matchup. Some work to be done here for Tundra to limit the Storm's capabilities as BetBoom making the move top. They want Nightfall, they want this Shadow Fiend, they want to put a death on the board for this man in this series.
The Radiant Scan didn't quite find him. Save spots him now, but they're not in position for a punish.
And 4 heroes around this top lane, they can't commit on the SF or they just missed him. Scan will come out on the flip side, so Pure, he thinks he's getting ganked in return. And he is, though from a different angle, once more.
may not expect this delayed entrance. Kataomi, he does go through the gate to try and help out Pure in this ordeal, but do they realize how many heroes are going to be here? Pure gets off the Stone Gaze. Can that save Kataomi? Can that save himself as he's still stuck inside of the cogs, but he also has the wall slowing him down. The dead shot is going to miss, and the ice shards will block off Tundra. Lornoff is going to pursue, though, with his remnant. Jumps forward. Gets a chains onto Kataomi. Snowballs up. Lornoff has lost most of his mana, though. He has a lot of allies behind him. Maybe if there's more from BetBoom. Oh, look at that. The black hole in the top lane with the Eidolons. Already down to half health. Can the Eidolons finish the job? The Requiem is going to go out, and that'll push him all away. But Nightfall is still going to be a bit surrounded while the fight continues in the bottom lane. Safe. He's trying to back out to the tier 2. Looks like 33 did manage to get another kill for them. It's on the Storm Spirit.
Man, how did Kiyotaka end up going down here? Felt like they ran out of juice and ends up re-engaging, bites the bullet. The black hole not working for BetBoom top as Miro goes for the big play, but that was a full HP Shadow Fiend with some stats already up. Not the easiest target to bring down.
I mean, there's no way about it. That had to have been an overextension there from Kiyotaka.
Yep. And you got to remember, he had that early kill streak, so some extra gold going into Tundra's pocket.
Well, if you're enjoying the Dota that we're watching today, be sure to give the channel a follow, as we should be getting this game back underway fairly soon. We'll see a little bit of stacking going on for BetBoom. How much stacking have we actually done on either side? It feels like there has been a very even laning phase, which very oftentimes means not a whole lot of stacking.
I saw 33. I think he maybe stacked hard camp a couple times for himself, just to be efficient with it. But nothing crazy in this game. It's just been a lot of side lane fighting. So far, it feels like Tundra are winning those side lane skirmishes by a little bit, even though BetBoom won the mid lane fighting through the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, mostly just because I feel like the swinger there is that last kill on Kiyotaka, right?
Yeah, that shut down a lot of his momentum. He was having a pretty good game. That was a big kill to give up.
Getting those early galvanized stacks and such.
BetBoom going to try and regain that Storm Spirit. And if you're Tundra here, I think they're okay with this laning phase. It was a little scary with how much Kiyotaka was getting, but they're starting to find what they want, which is kind of even farm across the 3 cores and just get the auras up on the Darkseer, so that 5-on-5 is really where they want it to be. So if this map stays static for them for the next 5 or 10 minutes, I don't think they're too sad about it. They've also made some decent plays with the supports. I think the Clock Morta combined really well. I don't know if you noticed it, but in that fight, the mana burn from the cogs onto the Dacha was not insignificant.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen more and more of these Clockworks with this build, this facet on Clockwork. People have been maxing out the cogs, and
for good reason.
For good reason. It does a bunch of damage, but it's going to be even more effective against a Dacha. It's a dangerous point of the early game for BetBoom.
If you can bounce this Dacha off the cogs 3 or 4 times, which is doable. You also have Deadshot to force another bounce, guaranteed. And then you're stuck in the calling. These 2 supports can almost solo kill Pure in this early game, which makes the rest of the lineup feel great.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so much effective HP that the Clockwork is doing to a Dacha.
Yeah, it's crazy. And of course, you have vacuum to combo with this as this game goes later. So we could see some cog vac combos. I don't know how that interacts with the new cogs exactly. Does everybody just get bounced, getting pulled in there?
Yeah, it might be.
That could be incredibly deadly. It could be the ultimate pinball machine.
Yeah, I think the cogs can only hit one person at a time, though. But it's still going to be effective, right? You pull them in.
Yeah, for sure.
There's probably like 2 different cogs that get triggered immediately on 2 different heroes.
Right.
Still good amount. Trying to fight for that power rune as he get back into the game. Oh, hit by a dead shot. Kiyotaka does have enough, but it was a good attempt there from Tundra. Just gave them an opportunity to try and kill Kiyotaka. It was close.
And you can see the frustration on Kiyotaka. He's just dying to 2 supports plus this chains combo. Even if he doesn't die, he loses all his mana, so he effectively has to go to base. And you're looking at that Storm net worth. He was top of the board. Now he's just falling down. That Orchid's getting delayed. And look who's at the top. It's the Darkseer tied with that Dacha, 33. This man always finds his gold, and he's just going first item Crimson. Feels like that's going to be the strongest aura for the game.
Oh, yeah. It's sick against Medusa plus Enigma and the Eidolons.
It's a good Crimson game. Definitely let you defend these towers.
Hookshot lands onto the Tusk. Gives Nightfall the opportunity. Nice use of the snowball to get to the low ground. That'll get Kataomi out of there. Helped by Miro, who gave him the vision in the first place.
A nice little heads-up play. Baits some attention, puts that hook shot on cooldown. Maybe BetBoom can look for a little bit with the Storm now. Still waiting for this level 6 on save. That's kind of their component of the team fight missing. You'd like to get some action going. Create some space for the Medusa so Pure, you just don't see him for another 15 minutes. He comes out of that jungle. He's two-slotted. Then you can start to take Roshan, push this game into your advantage. But you need some space for that to happen. Catapult's still at mid as well. So Tundra going to get some free tower damage here. Lornoff asserts his presence, really wants to keep this alive. I mean, this is a tower you want to defend if you're BetBoom.
Yeah, where's the response from BetBoom right now? If they don't do something about this, their tower's going to flat out die. They pop the glyph. Kiyotaka has returned back to the lane, so it should be okay now. 33, you could see that's where probably most of the stacks have gone in this game. It's been him stacking for himself.
Another power rune that does not go to the Storm Spirit here for BetBoom is an interesting one, this Invis on the Enigma, because you have Black Hole coming back up. Maybe you can find a little opening with that. Downside for BetBoom is all this is happening. These stacks are very efficient for 33 right now. And he's done the majority of the stacking and just doing it for himself.
Yep.
So Crimson already done, level 9. He has Max Ion Shell online. He's ready to fight. He'll fight some neutrals for now, but he's also ready to take the team fight.
What do you feel like he's going to go after this? Is this the game where you think you want to see like a Blink Dagger early on in the Darkseer, or is this just full auras?
It's just going to be pipe. Crimson pipe, hard to turn down here. Yeah. Might even get a later Greaves at some point if one of the other supports doesn't build it. You're just going to aura max this game because you don't need a lot to scale individually. You're going to turn the Deuce against herself.
Thought you didn't like that term, aura maxing.
Those calls are so dumb sometimes.
So annoying. Kiyotaka, he does not get hit by the calling silence there and was able to jump away at any time. Funny how he still turned around to do what he could to the Ember Spirit before he backed out. But it's going to be more efficient for Lornoff, who TPs back and leaves a remnant in the mid lane.
The Storm just continues to get bullied, resources-wise, and I'm still looking for that move around this Tier 1 tower for BetBoom. Bring the Enigma there, get a good fight out of the Eidolons with the Boots of Bearing already up. In theory, they're king of the map right now. Instead, 33 makes the first mid backstab.
Stone Gaze goes out, though. That'll put a halt to a bit of Tundra's aggression. They'll just keep hitting the tower. It's what they came for originally anyway.
That's a successful move for 33. He gets to walk in, clean up a tower. Nightfall took the Tier 1 bottom while all that's happening, and you get this Dusa illusion in the meantime, so he'll get some extra farm out of that. Arcane Rune for Lornoff. That sequence was very nice for Tundra. It cost them very little. 2 Tier 1s, a Power Rune, steal some farm from the enemy side of the map, and force the Dusa off. Little things adding up here. I'm still looking towards Miro. I mean, he wants Blink. I don't know. I feel like you would have wanted to be involved in a couple more skirmishes or fights with this Enigma with the Boots of Bearing build-up before getting to your next item. Unless you're super happy scaling here as BetBoom, which I don't know if you should be. They definitely have some decent scale, and you could rely on this Enigma late game, even if the Medusa's going to get Darkseer walled and whatever. BKB Black Hole, in theory, is uncounterable here outside of that hook shot, which is not the most reliable in the late game team fights. Making a move on to 33. Great target to take down.
He looks very dead to me. This many heroes. It still takes a little while, but it helps a lot when you have tag team plus Bedlam. You really don't run out of damage if you put these two supports with a couple extra bodies behind them.
I get that Enigma involved, which is what you want happening right now, because every time you get a kill like this, you can turn it into more map control. You can threaten a Tier 1. Can chain another move off it, and of course you still have that Black Hole up your sleeve.
Actually going to do that, though? Because it looks like Tundra is still ready to defend as 4, and the Darkseer's coming back up soon. Feels like BetBoom was taking an opportunity here. They had the Bramble in place. It forced the Ember Spirit to jump away, but Dacha, who is secretly pushing forward, gets spotted, blocked out by the Ice Shards. Now maybe he's the victim of this, but BetBoom know that Tundra are going to play a team fight here, and they respect that. They don't chase after the kill. They don't feel like they could win a team fight on even odds here. It would have been a 4 versus 4.
Orchid onto the clock, but the cogs come out first, so that Orchid reveal gets denied here.
I still can't tell exactly who wants to take this fight. BetBoom do turn around and finally finish off Soxa. Tundra are reaching out, trying to get these heroes. Kiyotaka's going to jump away. Heroes coming in from behind. The Terrorize hits the Ember Spirit. He dies off of that. They still have the Black Hole ready to go, and this is BetBoom have lured Tundra into a trap, and they may need even have to use the ultimates for it, though they finally will. They're going to use it on the Darks here. He dropped the wall. Best to be safe about it. The Requiem's coming in soon. The Requiem snowball up. How is this guy still alive? He finally goes down, and the Snowball plus Eidolons do manage to finish him off. Kataomi slowed down to a crawl, is making his way out of here. They have to TP out on Kiyotaka. Kataomi may still be run down as Nightfall and Whitemon are catching up soon. One swing, a flare goes out. On the other side of the map, wait a minute, how did this Naga Siren get so low? Pure is very low on mana, doesn't have a TP away either, got hit by the hook shot, now he is dead. He is absolutely screwed in this situation. It looked okay for BetBoom there for a moment, but the turnaround there is just 33's inventory and Nightfall's backstab.
Nightfall gets a free fight. He had Shield Rune on top of that, so there's no way you were touching this Shadow Fiend. And that fight just felt very indecisive from BetBoom. Were they taking it with that Orchid arriving on the Storm and the gate potential from the Medusa? Were they not? They have Black Hole. There just ended up being so much junk on the ground in that corner as well. You're fighting into the wall, the cogs, the random dead shots, slights going through. If you're not decisive and you just take heroes down together, it's going to add up here over the long fights for Tundra, and they're going to take a Roshan as their reward. Nightfall still having a perfect series, by the way. They've not managed to kill him once between these two games.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. You would expect that kind of stat on the Medusa, but instead, Medusa dying in that last team fight has fallen a bit down that network chart compared to the Shadow
failed jump.
Nice chains, into the hook shot, into the cogs. Deadman's getting with the dead shot inside of that cogs. That's such a potent combo. Kataomi on the run. Bramble's trying to protect him, but he's stuck by his own shards.
Kiyotaka, he has not had the same impact with this Storm Orchid as Lorinov had last game. And a lot of it, I think, is this Muerta.
Yeah.
It's just causing so many problems for these mobility mids. 33 even threatening the Dusa on his own, just forcing him off the map.
There's no way he's actually going to kill this guy, but he just by himself put the fear of God into Pure, who had to not only run away, but pop Stone Gate.
And he gets that Dusa illusion. Probably just wants it to farm.
Yeah, he's just going to go farm. He's like, you're not allowed to farm these Ancients, and I'm going to farm them with your illusion.
Pipe coming in soon for this Darkseer, and at that point, the 5-on-5 is incredibly strong for Tundra. Looking for Black Hole on this Enigma. That's going to be the exchange, as Miro just going second item, BKB will guarantee that Black Hole's presence in the team fight.
We've seen a lot of Enigmas in this last year not actually opt for that focus on Black Hole, a lot more focus on auras and utility. What's the switch up here? Do you like this?
I think he feels they need more team fight and scaling presence in this game, and they need the Black Hole to start winning these 5-on-5s, because the fight is coming to him. This SF is hitting your high ground in 19 minutes. This is the power of Shadow Fiend with the first and second Aegis. He can really accelerate the game. It's a great tower sieger. It's going to force a reaction out of BetBoom. Are they ready to fight this?
It's not a massive reaction. BetBoom are still keeping 2 heroes out on the map, actually 3, as the Storm Spirit is farming that bottom right.
Look at the timing.
Tundra is going to keep pushing this, though. 3 minutes left on the Aegis.
And that pipe just arrived, so the auras are online for 33.
Got a 4-staff over the shards. And they'll back up.
It's a tower.
Take your Tormentor. Can BetBoom contest this at all? Are they going to give away these resources? Is the Wisdom Rune going to be taken? Is Tundra going to keep pushing this high ground?
This cannot be another game where BetBoom just concedes so many little objectives. You're going to have to fight at a certain point anyway. BKB does arrive for the Enigma. Miro has some play options.
Yeah,
They're
but
just watching
how does he
go.
just walk up BKB and Black Hole? Who's going to start this fight to give him the opportunity for a better Black Hole than just one?
Storm, right? It has to be Kiyotaka jumping in, finding some sort of target, follow up with a Terrorize. Aegis up for 2 minutes is what's preventing that action right now.
Yeah, Kiyotaka is finally going to come back here. I thought maybe he was close to an item. Not at all. Thought maybe he's close to his BKB. No, he can only buy one component of it so far. Whitemon sticking around to take your Wisdom Rune. Zones you out with the cogs. Now, he will die for this, but taking the Wisdom Rune, probably worth it.
Oh, yeah. He's happy with that. It was a smoke from BetBoom that didn't even get the rune. He sees everybody there. That means the other lanes are just going to get pushed in. Tundra continue to farm. Have a little bit of a net worth lead. Nothing crazy, though. These cores on BetBoom are still very strong. You get to the Storm BKB, your teamfight looks a lot better. You'll probably have Blink on Enigma at that point as well.
Yeah, for a game that they have taken your Tier 3 and range barracks at 20 minutes, you would expect a larger net worth lead.
It just wasn't based on a teamfight victory. So it's not as if BetBoom lost too much on top of it. And you're all looking for this, is that Disperser or Butterfly for the Medusa? Disperser, dangerous item. It's good versus Darkseer in the sense you can speed yourself out of the wall back.
Trying to make use of the Orchid in the bottom lane. Used a lot of mana, caught by Saksa. Rod of Atos into the calling. There's still a little bit more. He turns around, controls up Lorna, but he doesn't have the mana to jump away.
Play, man.
He's just done.
It's just a crazy solo pay against a Mage Slayer Ember. You're not going to have the damage for that.
Yeah. That was the thing. The Storm Spirit of last game, it felt like they were always making a combo play with the Muerta.
Exactly. He had more
never
backup.
A solo move.
Daedalus for Nightfall. He is going pure damage, pure aggression. And BKB done for the Ember. Tundra are really coming online with all three of their cores right now. And again, I go back to this Disperser on the Medusa. It has some great utility in the fight. You can also end up just burning yourself out.
It looks like 33 is going to go third item Blink Dagger, which I do really like. I think this is a good Blink Dagger game.
I wouldn't expensive BKB. Yeah. I don't mind the Blink on the Darkseer. I think he has a decent amount to combo with. The clock should reliably be able to start fights if you want another Initiator. You blink Vac Wall into the cogs. That's pretty obnoxious for Pure to deal with because he doesn't have a Hurricane Pike or anything of that nature.
And if he could get good enough vacuum wall combination, it kind of forces the Enigma to make a move.
Yep.
Right? It's like,
or you maybe catch the Enigma in the first place.
Sure.
You can easily end up in a situation where you drop that BKB Black Hole, but if you don't catch the Shadow Fiend, he just kills you during the duration.
Yeah.
So Tundra making some smoke moves across the map, trying to control all three lanes here and corral BetBoom. Got to remember that Aegis is out on the SF, so if BetBoom want to make a move, try and snag the Shadow Fiend in a Black Hole, that option's absolutely available.
It just seems like what seems to be their MO right now is just anything to draw time out. I don't think they're going to try and take any sort of fight at all. They're just whatever it takes to draw out the game and believe, in their scale of Medusa plus Enigma.
It's a turtle lineup.
I feel like that's a little, I don't want to be too inflammatory here, but I feel like that idea is a little outdated, right? Very rarely do we see turtle lineups where you just don't make any offensive moves, right?
Well,
any scale, even late lineups that scale better late game are still trying to get you sometimes with smokes and stuff.
I think at TI you would have been absolutely correct. I do not think you could have won a series at that tournament, turtle. It was very clear. You just get run over. I think as the meta shifted, it's become a little bit more viable. You know, you're not at 0%, and you can get away with it at certain points in these games. We've seen a lot more comebacks or late game scaling options open up as the patch develops. You know, we're seeing Medusa, right? That's a pretty clear indication. Teams feel like they have some time to operate with. So it doesn't have to be strict turtling here for the entire go, but BetBoom, they just want to hit their items, hit their timings, and they will, well, they'll hit a smoke here on all five.
What timing is this that they're working off of? Jump forward, pick off onto the clockwork. That's a freebie.
Yeah, something.
So I like that. Making a move with the smoke, not just sitting back on their side of the map. They get themselves a good amount of map space to work off of. They could farm a bunch of neutrals. They're still trying to get BKB on the Storm Spirit, for example.
BKB Storm, Blink on the Enigma, and then I think your aggressive options open up a lot. This Medusa is still very strong. Pure most farmed hero in the game. Finished up that Dragonlance Disperser on top of the Manta. He does some damage over the course of the fight. If you can't get that big wall illusion as well, let's say the fight develops in a way where he doesn't have to be the first going in, it's a big deal.
Sure.
A lot of Tundra's teamfight depends on Darkseer-Medusa interaction. Which, if the Darkseer gets jumped first, that goes away. If the Darkseer jumps you first, it's a nightmare.
Okay, so a game of initiation. 10 to 15, 6,000 net worth lead for Tundra. Really not that much, especially when you consider the late game potency of what BetBoom is rocking here.
Daedalus for Pure would be a big turning point in this game, because right now he does some okay damage. It's not as scary as what Nightfall can pump out in a short duration. That would even the playing field a lot, as Nightfall has to go back for BKB just to probably deal with the longer fights, being able to go through some of the storm damage and the brambles. This next Roshan means a lot for Tundra. If something goes wrong in these next few minutes and they lose Roshan or lose a team fight, this Aegis goes on the Medusa, this game becomes a lot more difficult for them. And they also need this Aegis on the Shadow Fiend for Nightfall to continue to assert dominance in this game.
This could be very interesting. If BetBoom have a good read of what's going on here.
I thought they would want to contest this for sure, and they do. They're going to smoke up.
Yeah, they just picked up Blink Dagger on the Enigma. This could be really, really big for them. It's all up to Miro and what he finds here. I don't think he's shown that Blink Dagger yet at all, so it could come as a surprise to Tundra. But they jump in, managing to clump on 3. That is a beautiful setup right there. Miro is still trying to find his opening. Kiyotaka's quite low. Despite the BKB, he has to jump away just for fear of his HP being too low. BetBoom keep backing away. Hookshot lands onto the Storm Spirit. Whitemon trying to get him inside the cogs. A little bit too late for that one. It's got hit by the Malefice. Now Miro is shown, and they see the Enigma. He loses his opportunity for that black hole. He goes back in, tries to go for it, trying to get up, but they're already backing away.
This is so
He's
stretched.
all in, trying to hit this one, and it's not good at all. A one-man black hole with no backup whatsoever. Tundra read that perfectly. They spotted Miro. They kept their distance, and as soon as he pulled that 180, they too backed away and forced Miro into just a terrible black hole.
Initiation just counts for so much in this game, and Tundra are the ones that find it. They have a lot more vision mechanisms. They're holding that tree line. They send out Ember illusions. They send out the random clockwork flare. You can shell the wave into BetBoom, so someone has to show on it. That Medusa has to show, and then all of a sudden, 3-man vacuum. Way too easy for 33, and that fight's basically over. You're on the back foot from that position. If you're BetBoom, you have to look for some crazy turnaround black hole. And Tundra are disciplined enough that they're not going to clump into you and give it away. I even like the heads-up play from Soxa. He was TPing to his own tier 2 to then backstab the Enigma who was running in that direction if it came to it. Just no openings in that fight. Kiyotaka also can't challenge this SF in those BKB durations, so that's a very well-executed team fight from Tundra. They will get Roshan as their reward, put that Aegis on Nightfall, and now there's a question of how much can you do with this? Can you go high ground again? Can you threaten to end the game right now before this Dusa gets into the ultra late game? Because that Daedalus, it's coming out for Pure. He got in the Enchanted Quiver as well. This Dusa's damage is going to start to pick up. Black hole up in 70 seconds as well. So you have a minute here on the side of Tundra. If you want to force the fight, where that ultimate not available for BetBoom makes a massive difference in this game.
At the same time, it does feel like they're high ground without the black hole. It's a bit better on BetBoom. You see how well the Medusa is able to put up with this. See a little brambles. Yeah,
that
he's
banner's gone.
Easily able to deal with the banner. No problem.
Well, that feels great.
They still lost a tier 3 in a pretty short amount of time just due to Nightfall's single target focus. Quite strong. Smoke, 4-man smoke behind. Now Miro still waiting on that black hole to come up. Pure is trying to delay.
So do Tundra want to jump the base? Do you want to just take the back wall, Medusa? He gets
Hit him
3
with
again.
Managed it again with the vacuum, man. 33. He is just not missing on these initiations.
Pure clears
it
it
doesn't
out.
immediately manage to get a kill. Yeah, Pure cleared it out and didn't lose too much of his mana. He's down to half. Miro blinking forward there. Doesn't have the black hole anyways. Just looking for a Malefice on something. Meanwhile, Kataomi tried to slip up the side to catch somebody here. It's not working, and he may just get picked off. No disables.
Gets out. This wall is going to run out. They can play around it. So that's a high ground hold here from BetBoom.
It is.
Didn't cost them anything either. I mean, use Stone Gaze, whatever. So that disperser, again, if you can disperser yourself out from that back wall and then just slice through all the illusions with the split shot, that's what you're looking for here as Pure.
Yep.
And now you have your black hole back up, so you can get aggressive yourself. No wall to deal with.
That could be a good target. Oh, blinks away before he can get the grab. Kiyotaka's already used a ton of mana, not finding a jump. not finding a good initiation anyway. Meanwhile, Miro spotted him by Chivas. He's down in half HP already. Katomi knocks him up in the air, trying to get him. Got him inside the Gorgon's grass there. Terrorized, trying to push away these two cores, but they're backing back in. Save is dead, and now Katomi, a dead shot across the way from Saksa, nails him. Both supports die.
So chaotic for BetBoom. If you catch 33 before he blinks out, that could be a very successful move. Instead, you're just stuck in this area where the Aegis Shadow Fiend's slowly walking into you and no one wants to challenge him.
They do have the big ultimates here, and they do have buyback on both these supports, but Tundra, they're going to try and get it out of them. Both buyback.
The damage!
Use pure! Oh,
he's dead!
Too much damage! He's dead just like that! The jump far too late from BetBoom to defend him.
Carry diff?
Indeed. Just Nightfall. Way too strong for Pure to be able to handle, and BetBoom is crumbling now. Never got their opportunity to put the team fight together. Tundra, with the lead that they have, just too easy to set this up by putting Nightfall on the front lines.
This is prime Shadow Fiend right here. This is where he strikes harder than almost any other carry in the game. If you can't get over this hump into that late game, well, you will never get there. As Mega's down, I do not think Kiyotaka loves this part. In fact, he does not like it at all.
GG. BetBoom just tap out. They managed to prolong the game a bit longer. They managed to keep it closer, it seemed like, for longest period of time. It wasn't so long ago that it was only, 5, 6K net worth lead. But the outcome still feels as dominant for Tundra.
They just couldn't do anything or find openings in these games to try and swing the map back into their favor. It just felt like you're getting slowly grinded out. Tundra are getting what they want. They basically took every Aegis this series, and all of them went onto that man right there, the Shadow Fiend. He gobbles up the Aegis, then he gobbles up your base. No one's contesting him at those points because he has the auras from 33 to back him up. And really, the support gameplay, I'm not saying BetBoom got outclassed, but I feel that the Tundra supports were just